Good morning, everyone. Dwayne Pedals here, coming to you live from Corsica. I am located in Bonifacio, which is the most southern part of Corsica, the island here. And you're probably wondering why I'm here. I'm here because I just wrapped up a bikepacking trip that I've been planning for the last 4 or so months, but also a dream that I've wanted to come to and ride. Corsica is beautiful. If you never heard of it, look it up on Google and you'll find out why a cyclist would want to come here. um, I didn't come here just for cycling. I mean, obviously I did, but also I took on a bikepacking trip. I built a route that spans 3 days, and it starts in the most southern part here in Bonifacio, gets you over up to Zanza, and then from there I headed west to the coast to Capicolo, which is a coastal city. And then from there, I dropped back down south into Bonifacio. Now, let's talk a little bit about that route. It's 137 miles total with 15,000 feet of total elevation across 3 days. You're probably wondering whoa, head explosion emoji. Well, that's a lot of climbing. And yes, it's a lot of climbing. But also, it's spanned it's within 3 days in total. So it goes, across those 3 days. The first day was tough, and I'm gonna just chat a little bit about that to give you some more insight on the route. Coming out of Bonifacio, being that you're basically at sea level, you're gonna be climbing up 6,000 feet, and for the beginner cyclist, that might sound like a lot, So I would say this particular route is more so for the intermediate to expert type of rider, And I think I'd say that because of the climbing, not so much of the technical aspects of the ride, because there weren't very many technical parts. It isn't an off-road ride. You're on road for the most part. You're riding through the countryside, and I gotta say, it is beautiful. Day one brought the most eye-opening views, I would say, in terms of passing through some of the monuments, the mountains here, some of the historic sites, all the history, and you can see that as you're passing through the different villages. There's a medieval aspect to it. It's the quaint villages that I rode through. It's just incredible in terms of what you'll be able to see when you're on the ride. Being up that high is just breathtaking, I was able to camp every day throughout the trip, which was something that I've been wanting to really do a lot more of. My bikepacking and camping background, I miss a lot, I miss that I haven't been camping. I miss that I haven't been really bike touring like that. And I'm not trying to blame it on anything, just me not being able to get out there and plan to do those things, being that I'm local in Miami, Florida. It's so hot to camp out there. I'm not even going to do that. It's just going to be uncomfortable. So I think being able to plan it throughout the year, whether it's something I do abroad, whether it's something I do local, is enough for me. Why would one want to come here and do something like this? Why did I come here and do this, I think for me, adventure cycling has always been something I've been interested in since I've done my first trip. For me, it's just a way that I want to experience a place and the people. And cycling makes it meaningful to me to be able to ride through places at a pace that's slow enough to stop and experience it, maybe chat with the locals, eat some of the local food when I want, and stop to take a picture roadside. I think those are the things that really fuel me, that drive me, that help me become closer to the place and the history, and be able to share that with you all and with myself and bring meaning to my life as well. And that's what it's all about. That's what all adventure cycling is about for me. You know, I feel like there's also the documentary aspect to it where I want to become a witness. I want to be able to share the stories that I've experienced throughout my journey and, you know, take pictures that help me tell those stories and share them with you all, whether it's through my blog website, DwaynePedals.com, and sharing a story and a trip report, or to others who may want to seek a similar journey of their own like this here in Corsica. Day 2 was awesome. I rode out of Zanza and was heading to the coast. Along the way, I stopped at a really nice French restaurant for lunch. There was nobody there. It was in a beautiful village, and it was just awesome. There was some locals who were hiking, and they stopped and looked at my bike, and we chatted. I tried to speak a little bit in French with my translator app on Google because I don't know French. I'm not going to pretend I do, but they were open, and they were also speaking English very well, so we spoke in English, and they told me they were on a hike for a few weeks, and they loved it here. And it's so funny because the French woman I spoke to, she was like how Corsica is more beautiful than mainland France. And she was born and raised in France, you know, and lived there all her life. So that was just funny to hear. But yeah, you know, we talked about the nature, we talked about the beauty of this place and, you know, our journeys ahead. And they were just really open and receptive to me cycling and all the stuff that I had on my bike. And after that, I rolled into the campsite for day 2, which was really nice. And I'm going to leave all the details in a later video because I'm going to be talking about this more. And I'm going to make a short little film about it too. So you'll be able to see across all 3 days what went down and everything like that. But yeah, day 2 was awesome. Switchbacks, rolling hills, big climbs, up and down, all around, you name it. It was a cyclone. And in a good way. I think once you get to the top of those climbs, that water just became a little bit sweeter, you know? And I appreciated it even more throughout that hard work, throughout the challenges that those hills brought to me. And once I dropped into the coast, it took me longer to get there because I kept making stops just to take pictures and just see everything, you know, and just take it all in. Because I don't know when I'll be back here, you know? And I gotta say, like, it was amazing, you know? Day 1 was great, but day 2 also was like another amazing eye-opening experience for me. I got to the coast and got set up at camp. Right on a beachside campsite. It was awesome. And met another couple who was doing an overlanding trip coming from Africa, did a big trek across 8 months. It was awesome. They were based out of Germany, and we chatted about our travels together, and I shared with them, you know, about mine, and it was just awesome. We had breakfast, they offered me coffee, and we just chatted and laughed. And that's the great thing about bike touring, you know, like you'll meet random people. And one thing I realized throughout my bike touring experiences is that the vulnerability that you sort to become, you let your guard down and you sort of like take on a new perspective of being able to chat with a stranger, being able to, you know, communicate in ways that you otherwise have thought that you wouldn't. And that's something that bike touring has done for me, you know. Yeah, it was just a great time. I didn't sleep very well last night. Well, not last night because I'm here, obviously, at my Airbnb. But like day 2, that night, I didn't sleep very well because my pillow kept deflating, and I don't know. I think I might need a more comfortable sleeping pad. But that's a gear thing. Has nothing to do with like the full-on experience, you know. But still, I woke up super happy with a smile on my face, excited to take on day 3. And day 3 was pretty much a full drop into Bonifacio from the coast and rolling hills. I did get caught up on a section of the trail on the route at around mile 110, I believe, where I was supposed to take a dirt trail that leads me a shorter way to cut through all of the road that tends to be pretty busy, and which turned out to be pretty busy. But I tried to cut through there, but unfortunately was stopped by a local agriculture worker, and she told me that I couldn't cross up there because there was some trees that fallen down and the roads you're not going to be able to pass through. But she also told me that it was private, and out of respect, you definitely just need to turn around. I didn't see that there were any signs that said no trespassing on the fence that I passed through. It was also open. So I just went on through and, was anticipating getting over that section. But unfortunately, I didn't. So I'm going to have to reroute that around that and just follow the country road until you make it to the main road. But outside of that, the roads here aren't as busy, even if you're on the main road, as the roads back in the U.S. They're very quiet. I find that the people who were driving on them were respectful and went around me and gave me the space that I needed. So I would say that it is super safe to ride here. I don't think you'll have any worries riding on the roads here as well. And I think the French are super excited to see people experiencing their country, riding, especially foreigners who aren't from here. I've been given nothing but grace, and I appreciate everyone who I encountered along my way, who shared their stories with me and showed me love. I think ideally it's great to know French. If you do, I think you'll have a much nicer experience because you'll be able to chat with people more. But outside of that, there's always ways to communicate. So I gotta say this was an awesome trip. I would get into my bike setup, but I've talked about that so many times that I won't even cover that in this video. But you can check out other videos about that somewhere. I'll link in this video here. But the bike held up great. I had no mechanicals. Something you want to do in advance, obviously, is plan and make sure you have all the gears that you need. I basically packed the entire kitchen sink and ended up bringing half of it. Or maybe a quarter of it because I didn't bring any food. I brought sports nutrition, but there were plenty of resources here along the route. But one thing I do want to mention to keep in mind is that the French start very late here. So they don't really do breakfast, I realize. So if you want coffee, you might want to bring your own instant coffee and just pour it in some water. If whether you want to do a cowboy style, that's up to you. But it's going to be tough to find places that are open really early if you get a head start around like 8 or 9 o'clock. So just keep that in mind. Lunch opens up and you can catch lunch around like 11-ish, which is what I did. And then after around, I want to say 2, 3 o'clock, like everything's closed until dinner time. So just make sure you got all your ducks in a row for that one because, you'll be out of food if you don't. Grocery stores will be closed, restaurants will be closed. You might find occasionally some bars, but I won't say it was bad at all. I did find places to eat, so it's just some of the places that I thought I intended to be open, were going to be open, just weren't. So, but doesn't mean you're not going to be able to get food. So, yeah. If you want to pack some things for yourself, if you do plan on doing a trip out here, at least the route that I developed, then definitely look into packing some things, some snackies here and there. But yeah, other than that, Corsica, man, I'm out here. Awesome time, awesome trip. So I'm not gonna continue going off on any more details about this, but I hope you all enjoyed my quick feedback on the route, and I just hope you all enjoy the ride and the video that you'll be seeing in the next few weeks once I get that posted up here. And if you're new here to the channel, you already know what to do. If this video offered you value and you want to see more videos from me, definitely hit the subscribe button, and always comment and like the video on the video as well. You can comment if you have some questions about the route. Happy to share. more about that. And if you've been here for a while, I appreciate you wholeheartedly. You have no idea how much support it means for you to watch my video and, you know, be a part of my journey. It's been a long time since I've been on YouTube, and you know, cycling is a huge part of my life, and I love adventure cycling and being able to travel by bike. So, yeah, goodbye for now, and I'll see you all soon. Take care.